Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you may be on this. Um, I don't know. What is this, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. I haven't done a live stream in a while, mainly because I have technology problems. Um, the same old, but it doesn't matter. We're not here to hear about my troubles, or at least not for the most part. I got stuff falling out here. What is this? Spoilers. Uh, Pull all this out, kind of get organized here. Yeah, I got cool stuff to show you. I tried to show you last time, and I just had total Wi-Fi or equipment failure. It's just kind of weird watching on my desktop computer me talking about stuff and then me watching live through this phone. It's odd. There's like a 10-second delay on the desktop, so it's interesting. So in case you didn't know, you're watching Sketching Past Midnight Live. Yeah, we're still going good. Yeah, I got the little banner up here. It should pop up anyway. And I am, of course, your host, CB Smallwood, your good buddy, your good pal. And pretty much what I'm doing right now is I'm flipping through this sketchbook and I'm trying to find some cool relevant stuff that I want to show you, because we've already flipped through a lot of this, and you know um, I just want to make sure that I kind of get caught up to where I was at last time. Now, what we're going to be talking about tonight is pretty much the Wildcat anthology and just Wildcat comics um, overall. I don't really have anything philosophical planned or well thought out or any of that stuff. It's just just thinking off the top of my head, just kind of spitballing here, and I'm flipping through this fast. This right here is like one of the world's worst laid out uh, pages for a Wildcat story. I just kind of like slopped it down and just trying to figure out how it would work out. Me learning a bunch of Buscema stuff. Let's see here. This is like the world's fastest sketchbook tour. Some of these drawings are my son's. You can kind of see his scribbles there. Working on some hands. And we've got this wonderfulness. So this is me studying Dale Keown and applying it to Wildcat. Also, some let me think of his name. Gary Frank. Some Gary Frank. I think that kind of pops up a little bit later, but really trying to get the Wildcat look down. Do some cool stuff. And so anything that kind of pops out and looks good, I'll recycle it later. Hopefully for the anthology or for the kind of like the Wildcat Dead Man Walking story that will come out after that. Some of these faces work. I don't like this one. This is way too long. Too long of a head. Some faces work and some others don't. Here I'm working on a lot. Sometimes I pick up things on YouTube and I write down a lot of different writing tips and stuff like here. Here, talking about the dramatic character and kind of like their character arc, and I was trying to develop my own strategy for that, so that way when it comes to writing dramatic characters, it'd be a lot easier for me. And then like a shorter one, of goals. What do they want? Who or what stands in their way? What happens if they don't get it? And the last one is it's like a time situation. Why now? So, first of all, for any potential people that tune in live, and for anybody that will watch the replay, I just want to say that I miss you all, and it's really good to hear from you. I've not been posting a lot on I don't know, Facebook, which I seldomly post on there. I mainly just post in the private Facebook group for the anthology. Um, and that's pretty much the only way I post on Facebook. Let's see, 1 ounce. Okay, here's some more stuff. This is like for the anthology. When I find cool little ideas or inspirations, I try to scribble them down. I don't always do that, or I take a screenshot. And so this is a not a spoof, but I don't know. It's my swipe of some old gosh, I can't remember. It's not Dark Man. What's that guy called who has the bandana over his nose? And The Shadow. The Shadow. This is my spoof of an ad from The Shadow, and I really liked it, so I want to do my own version of it. So this is like kind of like a rough sketch. So this all will be black. This lettering will be in white. This lettering and stuff will be in white. And the best action horror comics of the last decade. When the tough gets going, the tough gets Wildcat. Oh yeah, yeah. Now's your chance. And then this is supposed to have a bunch of writing in this bar, and I'm not sure what that would be. Let's see here. NTM Comics says, "Hey, what's up? I'm glad to have you here. Very, very glad. Uh, Not much. Well, just the same old, same old. Just sitting around, not doing much of anything, procrastinating. I'm probably one of the world's worst procrastinators, and but other than that, I've been trying to work on the anthology and do a lot of stuff associated with that. Um, and by the way, I really like everything that you've been doing, NTM. That your colors are coming together in really awesome ways, and I think your colors as is, like if you didn't progress any further in that, I feel like uh, they do the job. It's like you're ready out of the gate, but I can see you just keep getting better and better with stuff, and your art is looking pretty tight too. Say, Sideburns writes, "Why are you using a camera, CB? That's cheating." Well, let me tell you something, Sideburns. Okay, let me tell you something, brother. I watch your streams. I've seen your streams and all that technology you're using with your magic pencils and your futuristic uh, rulers. Okay, I learned from the best. I've been watching you. I've been watching how you do things. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I've been studying you. Pumawel. Pumawel indeed. NTM says, "I'm also procrastinating." Yes, it's like a terrible disease. I can't stand procrastinating, but and sometimes I just get in this rut. I need to find somewhere to set my tea down. This is a tea. I promise. This ain't like a giant alcoholic beverage. Okay, what you're looking at now is this is like something that would be from the Wildcat Deadman Walking stuff. I kind of sketch out ideas. I'm very bipolar about how I approach things. This is me actually studying manga. Been getting into it here lately. I finally found some books that, oh, this is going to sound harsh, that I feel like are actually good. Or maybe I should rephrase that, or more to my taste, more to my Western sensibilities. I really like Gleipnir. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's pretty cool. About some boy who turns into a giant costume, like a think of Walt Disney World, the big giant costumes that they have, you know, and basically this girl can crawl inside of him from a zipper in the back. And I was like, this right here, if we can focus this trees and stuff, I swipe from Glee up near. I really love how they drew the nature and stuff. So I'm kind of picking up things from that. And yeah, yeah. And also experimented at drawing chibis. I'm finding different ways to expand on Wildcat and all this other stuff. Just trying different stuff. Here's like a failed sketch of the Fantastic Four. It failed horribly. Which, you know, I was just using an ink pen, and anytime you use an ink pen, there's no going back when you make a mistake. What else we got here? Okay, let me skip this. There's a lot more stuff in the sketchbook, but I'm not going to show the whole thing. Not out of fear, mind you, because I really don't care. Just because my Wi-Fi is so unreliable, I don't want to take a chance, you know. Now, I had mentioned that part of this anthology, there's going to be a character named Dr. Terror. Now, this is, for right now, this is what Dr. Terror looks like. He wears this mask. It's this golden mask thing. He's got an accent of some sort. I'm leaning toward British, like a Regal Beagle type of British accent. You know, and he comes from Victorian times. And I suppose if he was to take his mask off and if he happened to have goggles on, he would look something like that. And I was trying to experiment. You know, this is a really terrible little pose thing. It didn't turn out quite well. So I like to think of this as the many faces of Dr. Terror, you know. So he's this villainous type character. It comes from Victorian times. He was a man like you or I, me or you, me, us, them, they. You know, he was one of us. He's one of us. And anyway, he was a scientist, and right now the story is like he kept getting this calling, this voice that was telling him to come to him. You know, go to Saturn. I think Saturn. That's what I'm going with, the planet Saturn. So this guy actually builds a like one of those lead air, or hot air balloons, and he outfits it with like this. There's like a glass dome and all the modern technology of the Victorian times, plus a lot futuristic stuff that he invented to survive. You know, the radiation belt and going out into space, into deep space, and to even enter the planet Saturn. And something happens there that changes him, and he actually makes it back. And so, you know, he becomes this guy that's wearing this, you know, golden mask, carries a staff, and he's got these goblin like creatures that follow him around, you know, and during the night and stuff like that, doing his bidding. So I was experimenting with with different looks. I've not got the goblin creatures down. It'd probably be like a uniform look. But what I was thinking is he was able to travel back in time at some point, and he grabbed some extinct line of proto-ape creatures, and now they're like his Oompa Loompas. Well, at some point, you know, even though he's immortal, it's almost like he's decaying every 100 years or something, you know, that type of thing. And so he builds for himself a new body where he can put his essence into and control this body as if he, you know, and it's a big metal body is all it is. So I thought that was kind of neat. Some neat ideas for good old Dr. Terror. And Dr. Terror, as part of the Wildcat anthology, he's going to be the thing that ties it all together. Basically, what happens is Wildcat is captured by Dr. Terror somehow or some way. Doesn't matter. And Dr. Terror, almost like the Crypt Keeper or any of these old classic horror magazine type of characters, he's going to be talking to you, the reader, and telling you all about what story is coming up next and stuff. And so he's gonna, you know, maybe he'll make Wildcat watch interdimensional television, and one of those stories will be an anthology story, or maybe Wildcat blacks out once, and then he's dreaming something, and maybe that dream is one of the stories, or you know, he could be remembering something, and so one of those stories can actually be a um, a memory. So here, sketching out different ideas in the Wildcat. In the, in the Wildcat Dead Man Walking series, I sketch different things. Okay, in the Wildcat Dead Man Walking series, you know, for scale, here's some people, and here's something coming through a portal. You know, so I was kind of playing around with the look of that. But the main thing I want to show you here is there's going to be times when Wildcat has this feral side of him that he doesn't show people. And so, you know, at nighttime, not all the time, but sometimes at night, he sneaks out of his abode and he just hunts animals. And to satisfy this wild side of him, you know. And so I was kind of sketching out the idea of what that might look like. And I thought it looked pretty cool. You know, I thought, you know, mind you, I did this one with ink pen, so any mistakes I made, I just had to live with it. And I thought in the comic book story that basically, you know, there would be the shot, and then some point there would be this close in shot where you get to see the gory mayhem, you know. Maybe at some point standing up, he's got the deer head in one hand and eating a leg in another one. Answer a comment right quick. Josh writes, I miss the Crypt Keeper. I do too. I do too. That was a good series that they had on HBO, and I really loved the first Tales from the Crypt. That the first Tales from the Crypt movie that had came out. I felt like it was really good. I'm trying to remember Demon Knight. Demon Knight is awesome. And actually, I'm trying to study some of those demons for art inspiration and stuff like that. You know, get out of here, Nat. Here, I'm working on Wildcat, trying to get the look down, the small legs, the big arms, big torso. It's not that the legs are small. Just imagine that it's your legs, and then the rest of you is big. So that's kind of like how Wildcat is in proportion. He's like, maybe like 6'5" or something like that. 7 foot, 6'5", 7 foot. He's a big dude. But the top half of him is 3 times larger than the average man. Me trying to practice some headshots. Not really happy with these. Well, this one looks a little bit better than that one, but whatever. Here we got Wildcat again, doing his thing. And this is sort of like my universe of characters that I'm building. You know, some of them are my takes on public domain characters. Like I think this one is Silver Streak. This is an all new original character. I don't know, something like Gornog or something like that. My version of the Black Terror, and all new original character, Fish Boy. And yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Okay, let me put this back here. We got another look of Dr. Terror when he takes his mask off. And there's his hat, you know, taking his hat off, you know. But I'm not going to put this in the anthology because I want that to be kind of a surprise for the ongoing book, or the semi-ongoing book of the Dead Man Walking thing, the Dead Man Walking storyline. And so, yeah, I want it to be a surprise. That's what he looks like under the mask, you know. I don't think it'd be that big of a surprise, but you know, me playing around with the surprise look of the fox waking up from a nightmare of seeing Wildcat murdered. This is from the Dead Man Walking thing. I was trying to think of cool images of stuff that I think would look neat. And here, you know, Wildcat is chained to a tree and stuff like that. And I know you can't really tell, but these are just kind of like the outlines of some of the people that's killing him or getting ready to kill him type of deal. And I thought, you know, maybe it'd be kind of neat if I gave them all masks like these 1940s, 50s, 60s looking masks, you know, Halloween mask or something, because they want to hide their identities from him. I don't know. I thought about that. That way I wouldn't have to worry so much about being clever and doing a lot of shadow stuff. This is a really sucky looking sketch I did of the same thing. You know, it is what it is. This is me playing around, just, you know, studying John Buscema. And this is, you know what this is. You know who this is. You know this man. Doom Barbarian. This is Doom Barbarian. The Doom one. All right, I'm just about done showing you guys sketches. We'll do some actual drawing here. Here I am, kind of plotting out how I want the introductory pages of the Wildcat Anthology to go. So let me move some of this crap out of the way. Move this out of the way. I was thinking some type of establishing shot of the laboratory. And then there's Dr. Terror, and he's got Wildcat on the table. Tisk, tisk, tisk. This simply won't do. Why, hello there. I bid you welcome to my humble home. You know, and then, you know, and then I guess Wildcat, you know, says, you know, what the hell is wrong with your face? Oh my, how careless of me. Where are my manners? And he quickly, you know, swoops over, and then he comes back up. There, much better now. We can concentrate on the task at hand. You know, there's Wildcat, you know. And then blank page because I didn't get done. I actually forgot I had that because I started sketching out all new pages. That's funny. That's some funny stuff there. This is me experimenting with possible cover ideas. This isn't all of them, but this is kind of where I started at, you know. So, you know, got the classic little deal there. And then we've got this enlarged Dr. Terror and Wildcat doing something. And then this is the more professional type of cover where you actually have all the stuff that Wildcat encounters in his book. So we got the cybernetic polar bears, and then I was going to get Cyburn's magic card demon guys. You know, there's Dr. Terror, and I was going to squeeze in, you know, some of the werewolves. I was going to squeeze in like I know you can't really tell here, but that's that thing above that bear's ear. That's a not a droid. What do you call that? And those things that fly. Well, those things that fly, you know, that's also another story. I was trying to put all the elements of all these different stories like on the cover, so that's one I got planned out. Here's another one, probably a little bit better. Come on, camera, don't cause me no grief. There's this middle one here is Wildcat falling, and he's being attacked and shot at. You know, he's jumped out of a plane. Here's one of Wildcat, kind of a side profile thing, and there's another one. You kind of get the idea where I was going at with some of these. I've done 2 of them so far, you know. Let's see. This one I did on some very, very cheap paper. I'd run out of comic paper or what cardstock paper. So I just did it on this stuff instead. Let's see. NTM writes, "Cool cover layouts." That's actually what I'm doing. Yeah, I spend more time trying to figure out layouts than I do anything else. It's like um, my lack of confidence because of my inexperience, you know. And the trouble is when I start drawing stuff that I don't know how to draw, then I have to look up reference, and then I have to get inspiration and all these things to kind of mush them together. And that it causes me to take a lot of time, more time than what I actually need. Um, I like how this turned out overall, you know. But I will be doing something different. I feel like the forehead, like if I put my hand right here, shoot, I feel like this looks better. So what that tells me is I'll bring his hairline down. Some more hair will probably come down. So that's probably what I'll do with this. The Lion Tiger Man 23 writes, "Yo, how are you? I got your last message. I just haven't taken the time to reply to you yet, but I am doing good. I'm glad that you asked. I hope you're doing well as well. Let me tell you guys, the Lion Tiger Man is hard at work on his scripts. You know, he's done a Spider-Man script, and he's working on his script for his book." Oh, I apologize. I think it's Half Breed. I believe it's Half Breed. Yeah, I think that's the name of the book, or something like that. And that was a pretty solid script too. So he's putting a lot of time and effort into what he's doing. Oh, I'm sorry. Means looking at my hands. Who wants to look at that crap? Um, something else here. Okay, so this is an actual interior page of the Wildcat anthology. There's the top of it going down. Now, what I'm going to be doing with this page is, if I don't drop my camera phone thing, is right up here, this will say something about Wildcat. God, look at these hands. That's kind of messed up looking. You see all these dents and stuff? That's from a cat that I got. I'm not joking. I got a kitten. I guess he's a teenager now because I've had him for a few months. He's very playful, and he catches me out of the blue, and he'll start, clawing and biting and gnawing. And he's destroyed my favorite pair of pants. my legs look very interesting right now. They're, yeah, like a horror movie. So anyway, Wildcat will go up here, something Wildcat anthology, and then I guess in the order that every artist contributes to the book. So let's say hypothetically, off the top of my head, let's say Abel, something like say Werewolves and Massacres, whatever the story's called, I don't know, by Abel Parsons, inked by Palamani, I think a story by Lucifer Storm, and then right underneath that, maybe hypothetically something like something other Polar Bears by Barry Sims, or no, it's not Barry. Yeah, well, gosh, I'm going blank now. I'm getting there, all my names mixed up. But anyway, our good buddy Mr. Sims, and art by C.V. Smallwood, so forth and so on. So all the way down through here, you get the credits. And I thought that would be like a really neat credits page to do it like that. Let's see here. What time that question is on the page, I'll sip me some of this Arizona half and half tea here. NTM writes, I've been trying to get a cool layout since like Monday. I'm trying to put a deadline on myself, so I just have to pick one and go. Well, you know what? I think since we're talking about deadlines and all these different things, I have to say, part of my procrastinating troubles or part of my difficulties is technology. Believe it or not, it's like some days you're just tired or you're exhausted and you need like the mental pick me up. And for me, my desktop computer does just that because it teaches me things, gives me things to read and learn and grow. It also offers me entertainment. It's just a perfect all in one. I'm like a Victorian guy with a newspaper. I'm like somebody like a kid again watching Mr. Wizard, which would be the equivalent to Bill Nye the Science Guy, even though Mr. Wizard could take him in a fight. Um, and sit and watch listen to bands, play on YouTube like Metallica and stuff. But the problem is you kind of decompress and try to recharge your batteries, and you spend more time doing that instead of this stuff. I mean, me personally, and yeah, it really gets in the way. And so what I do every once in a while, I'll actually turn my computer completely off, and I'll grab my toy phone. And what I mean by toy phone, I just use it for pure entertainment purposes or references. So I'll get my toy phone. It's like a big block of a phone, and then I'll play all my favorite podcasts, and then I'll sit and draw. And it's hard, sometimes because you get so caught up in the machine of checking out your social medias and all this other stuff. It just eats up a lot of time. But I hear you. I hear you. I don't know if you're having a lot of the same problems or not, but that's kind of been my issue. And also like drawing the great unknown, when you don't know what you're drawing and you have to find references for it or make references for it. And there's such a lack of confidence when it comes to drawing it, or at least for me. But whatever gets whatever gets results, if you impose your deadlines, if that works, I think that'd be awesome. Yes. All over the place here. NTM also says, if I can get my phone to work here, yeah, bring his hairline down a bit. And that's in reference to this one. I think if his hairline was brought down, this would look pretty killer. There's just something about it. Like, if you look at it this way, it's just, kind of a Frankenstein top. My bad. But watch me cut it off here with the camera. Look how much better that looks. It looks really good. So that's what I'll do. I'll probably muck it up with, playing around with the ink pen and stuff. All right, so this is more interior pages for the Wildcat anthology. I showed you this interior page, which was the credits page. And now we're looking at a double page spread. And I'm guessing this is the first two pages of the anthology. And what I'm thinking is, we'll get the introductory story of Dr. Terror. And this is like Dr. Terror's lair, and I'm having a little bit of trouble because I'm having lack of confidence because of this area right here. I'm wanting to put, I kind of want to put some stuff here, something extra other than just some mountainous shapes and stuff like that, like maybe some catacombs or like an old gate or something. But I kind of chickening out of it because, if I do a really crappy gate or really crappy catacombs, it'll show. And I want to put my best foot forward with this anthology. And if this is the first thing that people are seeing, I really want them to be wowed, The other thing is over here, I really don't have it handy because I don't know where I put it. Everything in my little office area is all over the place. But I was thinking about putting like the title of this story would be, This Was Your Life or Beyond the Wall of Sleep, and right here. And all the titles that I come up with for the Wildcat anthology, or whatever, for my Wildcat stories, that they'll be used to put a mixtape together that people can listen to as a soundtrack. That's an idea I've had forever, and I'm going to pull it off, and it's going to be awesome. Trust me. I'm going to make cover art for it and everything. So let's put this across. I'm getting closer to drawing. This is what I'm working on, or trying to work on here. Let's see. I had asked, or I had mentioned about Lion Tiger Man's comic that he's working on, and yes, the name of the book is Half Breed, and he's got like a big stack of it. This that if you took it and then flipped it sideways, this is how much paper he's got drawn of it. Let's see. Our good buddy Sideburns writes, these covers are really cool. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm getting to a cool space with it. I'm wanting like the ultimate cover for the anthology, and one of the other things that I'm going to do is whenever I do the cover, I'm going to put a filter on it to where the cover of the anthology would look like it's old and worn, and on the interior pages, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to find, like, I think I already found a couple examples of some screen tones that makes the paper look like old comic paper. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff like that, or try to anyway. Let's see. Lion Tiger Man writes, my cover is simple like Dragon Ball. Yeah. I mean, every time you show me your latest work, you just keep getting better and better. You're improving at a really quick rate. And to be honest, or well, I shouldn't say that because I feel like I'm honest all the time. To continue that thought. How about that? It sounds better. To continue that thought. Pretty much everybody that's in the chat, that draws, and a lot of my art buddies or art associates and pals and stuff, everybody's just getting better. I just see it in their work. It doesn't matter if it's pencils, inks, letters, and colors. Like, everybody's doing this really phenomenal work. It's awesome. And I'm not sucking up. I'm being honest. It's just the more you do stuff, the better you get. Lion Tiger Man also writes, so try something simple, maybe for the cover. Yes, indeed. NTM writes, yeah, I got a pretty cool cover idea, but it's got too much dead space, so I'm trying to find a way to fill it. Yeah. I seem like I mentioned this before somewhere, but I've one of the people that I've been studying, not here lately, is like Jack Kirby, and I love how Jack Kirby puts just like these blacks in different spots, like he'll have like shadows behind a lot of people. He'll put shadows on everything, and it just adds 3 dimensions of things. So maybe that could be something that you might want to consider trying when when you tinker with your covers and stuff like that. It's just finding excuses to put shadows all over stuff, and it really makes things pop in a 3-dimensional way. It's really cool. Let's see. I'm just about done answering the comments. I'm getting caught up. Lion Tiger Man says, holy smokes, Batman, that is great. Oh, my good buddy Gibran. I swear, it's like your last name says the Red Ranger. Because I have this weird thing with names, and I don't know why it is. I don't think I'm dyslexic. I really don't. But like, I used to pronounce Del Keon's name as Del Neon for years. John Burns's name is John Bry. Carlos Pacheco as Carlos Paccio. It's like I always slow with these things. I'm terrible. I'm terrible, but thank you. I don't know if you had a chance to see the Doom Barbarian sketch I did. It wasn't nothing great to write home about, you know, but I did like a couple of them. I actually did one that had Wildcat, Doom Barbarian, and the Berserkernaut standing together. I got these wild hairs of ideas. Gabriel writes, that looks awesome sauce. Thank you. You know what? I should start getting drunk. Let me get my pencil. I'm having too much fun. Where is my pencil? Oh, it's time to get serious. Okay. I'll let NTM handle that. So it is time. Let me get my banner out of the way. I guess everybody knows what this show is. And excuse this freaky looking hand. Some of this is freckles, by the way, and I guess moles. But a lot of this damage is cat attack. I know you can't. Looks worse when it's down. Cat attack. Now where's that? Using these Ethan Van Sciver Copic multiliners. I went and watched that video where he's showing everybody the artistic supplies that they use, and I've went all out, guys. I went all out and been trying to slowly acquire professional equipment to do stuff with. I've went and bought some oh shoot, I went and bought some French curves. One of them came broke in the mail, so that's a little heartbreaking. Got this thing, came with it. Got these Copic liners, and I know you can't tell because of the angle, but I actually bought a Draftsman table. You know, it's like I can't remember how much it was. It was 110 or 130, somewhere in that range. Just slowly, just acquiring stuff. Right. I never do like inking on these live streams because, talking and doing inking at the same time is very hard because, if you make a mistake, I mean, you can use acrylic paint or something like this or whatever to get it out, or you can take care of it digitally, but it's such a hassle and it's a lot of work. And I feel like it hurts the resale value of some pages, but though I could be wrong. So what I'm doing right now is I'm working on this mountain skate type of thing, type of booger. It's a booger, and just trying to get that in, just trying to get some stuff drawn because I've gotten behind like you wouldn't believe. This is another shadow plane, not where the Shadow King lives. Oh man, I don't know if I like this or not. Let's see if I can a little bit more that way. All right, what time I sweat bullets and I do this. I do want to mention that I've been thinking about, my YouTube channel and growing it and stuff. I see people doing so well and I kind of getting left behind. I'm like, ah, I'm very competitive like that, And it's just like, I sat at the desktop, about 30 minutes before, I did this live stream. And I was debating, like, I was wanting to do some videos on some comics, to that I thought would be cool and interesting. And then I thought about all the work involved to do some really good videos, because I feel like the better the videos that you do, the more people's going to want to tune in to watch, and it's like when it comes to YouTube videos, making like quality YouTube videos, it's almost the equivalent of what I'm doing right now. You really have to put a lot of effort in it, if that makes sense. But live streaming is just so sweet and easy, and just hit a button, and sometimes people show up and sometimes they don't. But either way, I always have fun doing it. It's like the funnest thing I enjoy about YouTube. And speaking of video sharing platforms, I've been fooling with Odysee a lot here lately, and I encourage you all, go to Odysee. Go to Odysee now. It's spelled O-D-S-E-E. I think no. O-D-Y. No. O-D-Y-S-E-E. ODYSEE.com. It's a video sharing platform, and they're really cool. And I got into the beta version where I can do live streams. And I tried to set up the live stream to where, that this would be my first live stream for it. And our good pal NTM's helping me out. Odysee, that's how you spell it. How he's got it spelt right now. This is the video sharing platform I was talking about. Go there and sign up. Look on my Twitter, if some of you are from Twitter, and click on the link that I sent. I get brownie points when you click on that. But yeah, go and sign up and follow me, because I have a channel there, and I've got like 40 or 50 videos on there or something like that. And it's mostly the newer stuff. And the reason, that I'm promoting Odysee and stuff like that is, I really like YouTube. I really do. But a lot of the social media stuff that's out today, all these people that runs these companies, they're a little bit crazy. They're a little bit obsessed, with how people talk or think or run their lives and stuff, and a little bit much for me. I don't think social media platforms should be in the business of, telling people what they can say, think, or do. And also, I've always been one, or at least I like to think so, where I'm always seeking out the new thing, the new social media platform, see where the winds blow. Let me answer a few of these comments. Let's see. NTM writes, CB, have you tried these Presto Jumbo correction pins? They work out great as a whiteout. There was a school that actually threw some of these out, and you are correct. These are awesome. If it's the same kind that you're talking about, these are terrific. I love these for drawing hair and little effects and stuff. And they do good for mistakes too. I like to use acrylic paint. If I can find it here, my bag of justice is falling over. This is just like Walmart acrylic paint. This one is Snow White. It's matte finish. Let's see here. There we go. Well, apple barrel. And then what I do is I unscrew the cap, and I actually dip my brush in the cap, and it usually takes like 2 or 3 coats but it goes on smooth, so there's not that bump that you get from whiteout pens. I like to use that too for effects and cleanups, and then everything else I pretty much clean up digitally. So like pencil marks that I can't get up, or inks that stray too far, or I want to darken something better. It's just all digital. Let's see. NTM writes, "Yo, CB, I think you hold a pencil as weird as Erik Larson. I think Erik Larson holds his pencil. He holds it like this. I think that's how he does it. I hold my pencil like this, and there's a story behind this. I've told this before, but I'll tell it again. When I was in kindergarten, I remember everybody around me were sitting around. They were learning to write and stuff, and we had the big jumbo lined paper, and there used to be, I don't know if they do this in your day, but there used to be like this little eraser thing, or whatever, this little rubber thing, and it would go right about here on your pencil or pen, and you're supposed to grab it there, or put it between your fingers or something. I don't know if it's supposed to make it more comfortable, because when you're a child, when you're first learning to write or whatever, it's actually very uncomfortable to hold a pen or a pencil. If you look between my fingers, there's a small indentation in between the two fingers, and that's because years of holding a pencil or a pen has reshaped that bone. And I think everybody kind of goes through that, depending on how they hold their pencil. And anyway, so yeah, everybody in class in kindergarten was learning to write, me included, of course. And it was very confusing. I couldn't understand, how to hold it, because it seemed like everybody was holding it different. I don't know what was going on. I remember the assistant teacher came over. She was just such an aggravatable woman. I don't know what her problem was. She had no business being a teacher, in my opinion. I got another horror story with her. But I remember like holding it like this, and I was asking her, like, so do I hold it like this? She's like, I don't know if she said no or yeah, or do I hold it like this? Do I hold it like this? Do I hold it like this? And then by the time I went this, she's like, just hold it like that. And she just grabbed my hand forcefully, like, hold it like that. I'm like, okay. And that's how I've held it ever since. But, here's the problem, though. I believe I was left-handed. And this poor youngin', poor little CB, was being taught to write right-handed, It ain't no wonder it was such a struggle. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Oh, such a relief to be done with this angle. Me take another sip here. Oh man, it really is great to hear from y'all. It's been a while. Let's see here. I think the next thing I want to kind of piddle with is I'll get this down here, get some of this ground. I like using a brush to draw my ground and my rubble. I feel like it just comes out so much better. Yeah, let's get closer here. Sorry, I'm moving all over the place. I'm trying to get situated. This is the part where I get really quiet because I gotta focus. Now, I had mentioned earlier that I started getting into a lot manga,
manga. And the reason is, well, two reasons. There's two reasons. A lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people in Comicsgate, they keep talking about how manga is taking over the world, taking over the mainstream comics and all this other stuff, and you just hear so much about it. And at some point, you're like, I like to try those waters. I like to see how that works. so that's one of the reasons, honestly. Um, and I've always wanted to kind of get into it, but like all the mangas I've ever seen, honestly, I just never liked them. They just I couldn't relate to the subject matter, or maybe I just couldn't get into it because it was just so different. And then also, the art. There's a lot of manga art that I just don't like personally. Now, if there's some that likes all the manga that's ever been done, then great. I'm happy for you. But for me, I've always enjoyed, Western and, kind of European looking comics. So anyway, the second reason, given the old mangas a chance, is basically every time I go to somewhere like Books a Million, they've got this whole big area of where they've got all their mangas laid out, And then I'll see some of these covers of some of these books, and then they catch my eye. Then I'll go and flip through them, and then there's a few that's like really good that looks really good to my eyes, And I'm like, I like to give this a shot. I start to read a little bit, and I'm so lost. I'm hopelessly lost because none of it makes sense. I mean, it's all in English, but like I can't follow the story. And the reason is, for the longest time, I didn't know how to read manga. So what I ended up doing is the first thing I did is probably maybe about a week ago. Is this blurry to you all? I bet it is. But about a week ago, a week or two ago, I'm not for sure, something like that. All my stories always take place a week or two ago, but I promise you that's the truth. But a week or two ago, I actually watched a YouTube video on how to read manga. I don't know how to, I don't, I know that it's read from right to left, but there's like little things that kind of throws me off. And so that video helped me with the little things, and so now I can read manga. I'm so proud of myself. So the next thing I did was I took and read online all the mangas that had caught my eye, and there's two, and I really like these mangas. One is Gleipnir. Um, let's see. Let me grab my paper here because I really want you to check this out. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, there's kind of some pervish stuff in there, you know. Um, but if that's not your thing or whatever, just look past it. But Glee Ip Near, I guess that's how it's pronounced. Gleipnir. It's a really good manga. And then the other one is which I don't even know why I have to write this because Chainsaw Man. So check these out online. Google them. And I've read everything up to date of Gleipnir. Really love the art in it. It's gorgeous art. I'm taken away from the arts. I want to incorporate more of the speed lines that they use and some of the motion effects. It's the motion effects in Gleipnir is modest compared to other mangas, so it's not so much that you can't tell what's happening, like a death metal band's name. It's just right. It's just enough. So anyway, And then but I think I already mentioned this, but I really like how they draw nature and forest and stuff. So I'm trying to pick up some of that as well, and learn from it. And I'm not wanting to learn this stuff just because manga is popular, but because it's good. I'm not going to learn just any type of thing. I pick up stuff from all over the place. I guess some other semi-exotic, might not be the best way to put it, comics that I look for inspiration is like European comics. European artists are just so good. They're just so good at what they do. I mean, they're some of the best illustrators, and I don't understand why we don't see more of them, winning, like, or maybe they do. I just don't know it, winning these like Eisner Awards and all this other stuff. Let me tell you something. I might not be the best artist in the world, but I'm one of the smartest. Now, I want you to pay attention to this fallen tower. Why did I draw that? Well, if you notice, some of this looks a little crooked, but that's okay because it's supposed to be a scary, spooky castle. But another reason why I drew this, I drew this to justify the crookedness of this, because this castle's so old. At one point, one of the towers from within actually fell off the side, rolled down, and had a bad day. There we go. So let's back out. Yeah, I like how that's coming together. It's coming together pretty good. Now, I was talking about European comics a little while ago. There's an artist. I have no idea what this guy's name is. I don't know where he's from. But there is a comic book called Long Harbor. Long Harbor. And I just love the art in it. It is fantastic. And I don't have the comic. I probably will end up ordering it, And it's a Lovecraftian comic that takes place on a small fishing boat. And when I say small, I don't mean like tiny, like a medium-sized fishing boat, maybe. And this guy, he's got this European artist flavor, like all the characters in it are drawn differently from one another. I mean, you can tell that the same artist drew all these characters, but there's not like a Jim Lee formula where everything's cookie cutter. And that's no offense to Jim Lee, because Jim Lee's awesome, But the point is, European artists, the thing I seem to notice, like, it seems like a lot of their characters look different from one another, Really cool. And so I'm wanting to study some of that and incorporate that into the Wildcat stuff that I'm trying to do. Hopefully. Anyway, I don't know. You just can't really see what the crap I'm doing. Get in there, camera. Get real close. That's kind of a boo-boo. Yeah, that looks bad. But I'll fix it later. NTM writes, Todd McFarlane is great at making characters look different from one another. Yeah, he's a perfect example. It's like Todd has a very distinctive style. You can tell something that Todd has drawn, but at the same time, all his characters look different from one another's, which is pretty cool. You are right, but you don't need me to say that. That ground kind of puts me in mind of something John or Sal Buscema would do. I feel like Conan's going to come running out with a sword. All right, so I'm almost done with this page. I feel like, almost finished. Something else that I'm doing, what time I'm making this comic, is I'm using a free program called Krita. A free program called Krita. It's open source. You can download it. It's free, and I really enjoy it. I personally like Media Bang Paint a little bit better, but Krita is available like on Linux and all this other stuff. So, I'm a Linux guy, and so um, it works good on that. and Krita works on Windows and all these different things. But anyway, I downloaded some brushes that are for free that I found on DeviantArt that I imported into Krita, and they are Mango brushes. And so what I'm going to do is like I said, I'm going to add these screen tones where I'm going to make things look old and aged. But for my own personal work, I'm going to add something extra, which is a lot of these zip tones that manga artists use and artists in Western comics used to use back in the day. So like, where this is shaded, I'll have this zip toned. Some of this will be through here zip toned, some of that. Definitely these mountains and things, and so it makes them really pop. Makes it look really good and professional. Makes it look professional. So I recommend everybody, try it out, see what you think. If you haven't already, or whatever. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Trying to remember, what song that is from. I feel it sounds like a Limp Bizkit song, almost. It had a bad day. Am I wrong? Am I off base? Am I totally incorrect here? Oh, you can't even see what I'm drawing. That's what I'm drawing right there. I'm used to it, but remember to save regularly. Drawing these mountainscapes and stuff like that, I try to use like different textures and different just different things to see how well it would work, In the words of our good buddy Gib, if when in doubt, block it out. When in doubt, block it out. Indeed. Something else interesting I want to talk about. Okay. Let's see. I watched, got finished watching all of Loki, and I promise I won't spoil it for anybody or anything like that. It's a good series. I do have some problems. I feel like the future cops are not that realistic to me. I don't agree with them having the ability to take down a oh gosh, a Viking god so easily. Got 15% power. Well, that's a good hint if there ever was one. But anyway, it's a good show. It ended, interestingly, as Marvel stuff usually does. But the one cool thing is there will be a season 2. So I think that's like the first thing I've seen of a Marvel show where they're going to add another, season. But they've got set up the new big baddie for the new what the new phase 4, phase 5, or whatever phase they're in now. So that's going to be interesting. Um, but on a negative note, because I am trying to be very positive here, I'm getting close to getting done with Marvel Studios. I'm already done with Marvel Comics, have been for a while, and that's no offense to Marvel Comics. They just don't make books for me anymore. And for a lot of people, actually. But anyway, with Marvel Studios for a long time represented what Marvel Comics used to be, and pretty much all their stories that they had on the big screen was stuff that came from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and some in the millennium. It's pretty cool to see these things realized and stay fairly true to the comics. And that's another reason why Marvel had such success. And they actually, built a universe, a cinematic universe, which I don't think anybody's done before. I'm not really for sure. And so people that watch the movies got to experience what people from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and somewhat in the millennium, got to experience decades from Marvel. And almost talking like Christopher Walken there for a split second. What people got to experience almost decades from Marvel. I can't do a New York accent to save my life. Well, people from blah, blah, blah. Whatever. That kind of puts me in mind of some Mobius looking thing, or I don't know. It's pretty cool looking though. It's interesting. But my point is, like, when I watched Marvel's Endgame, there at the end of it, I'll be honest, I kind of teared up a little bit, not because Tony Stark had a bad day, but mainly it was because it was the end of everything. Imagine all these guys that drew these stories, that written and drew, colored and inked. I mean, men and women, that made these comics from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and so many of them are, not all of them, there's still a good chunk alive, but so many of them are dead. And they worked whether there was funerals going on, they worked whether there was snow or rain, or they were sick. They had to get the work done, or they didn't get to eat. And some of their stories got realized on the big screen, and sold millions and millions, gazillions of dollars. And these stories that we all grew up on, and the commonality and stuff like that, and then the newer generations can go back to the back issue bins or buy the trade paperbacks and get to live and experience for the first time what we grew up with, and what each successful generation of comic book artists and writers and creators had passed on from one generation to the next, being these good stewards of comics. And with that movie, Avengers Endgame, it really was an Endgame. That was it. I knew with that movie that it was over. That not only was Marvel Comics as we knew it dead, it was never coming back, but also the cinematic universe, which was based off the comics we love from Marvel, was going to die too. Or, well, I shouldn't say die, but it was going to change. And I expect with this next phase of films coming from Marvel Studios, we're going to see a lot of the crazy stuff that's killed the comics. There's some good stuff.
True, there is some good stuff, but there's a lot of crazy stuff that's killing the books now, chasing away a lot of the long-term readers. And I imagine a lot of the long-term audiences are going to be chased away. There's evidence that shows that some of the stuff that they're trying, some of the Marvel Studio films, is chasing away people too. And or that's the rumors anyway. Take it with a grain of salt. But I've watched things in some of the Marvel Studio films that kind of made me go, I don't. I'm kind of not on board with some of this that's being forced down on me. So anyway, that's kind of my rant, rant. And I feel like with the Marvel Studio films again, they're going to go more that route because the studio TV series have went that route. And I just remember when I watched Endgame, the one moment, that's what I was kind of alluding to, that one moment that told me that this was the end of all that stuff, and the beginning of what I feel is the suck, my personal opinion, is when they had all these girls pop up out of nowhere toward the end of Endgame, I think to help Spider-Man get to one end of the battlefield to the other. And it's just weird, it wasn't organic at all. One superhero girl shows up, another superhero shows up, and then another, and then it looked like a whole team of them. And it was pretty much like, look, the girls are here, to save the day, and awesome. Well, but it was so contrived, and it was so painfully obvious, and that's one of the biggest problems I have with it. It ain't the fact that there's women superheroes or anything like that. That's dumb to even suggest that would even be what I would have a problem with. It's just the way you do things, the way you go about presenting things. That's what's so annoying, part of it. And a lot of people that work at Marvel now, they're not really focused on actually telling good stories. They're more interested pushing ideologies. It's more important to get that ideology out on paper to change the culture than it is to tell an honest to goodness story that anyone can relate to. But there we go. But we'll see how the movies turn out. Our good buddy Gib writes, I heard Biz say that on video. The castle has a very cool 70s feel to it. Well, I'll be honest with you. I won't lie. I'll tell you the truth. I used reference for this. I used reference for this castle. I swiped it from a horror magazine. Might have been Vampirella. I don't know. The background swiped from somebody on DeviantArt did like the spooky background, and some of these towers are purely me, and this right here is purely me, and a few other things. I'm not hiding it. I'm not lying. But thank you. I really appreciate it. The guy that I got the inspiration from the castle from, he was just phenomenal with his pen work. So literally, it probably did come from my inspiration. Probably did come from the 70s, and that's what I want the Wildcat Anthology to look like, kind of like the 70s. It's going to have these really cool, funny fake ads in it. Like the Muscle Man ad, where hey skinny, and he kicks dirt in that guy's face, and then the guy goes lifts weights, and then he goes and beats that guy up and takes his girlfriend back. Well, I know me and our good friend Robert Johnson was talking, and it's like it'd be cool if what if the guy that got his took a guy's girl was Wildcat, and the guy lifts weights to take the girl back, and Wildcat beats him up anyway. So there'll be a lot of stuff like that, a lot of fake ads like that. And there also, I'm wanting to do some real ads too. I thought about contacting people on Etsy that make some really cool horror stuff. And I was going to make like some cool retro horror ads that would feature their stuff. And I don't know. I'm very ambitious with everything I do, and I like to bite off more than I can chew. But you know, if I pull it off, well, that's be a pretty good feeling. And it look cool too, I think. Lion Tiger Man 23 writes, that's where we come in to tell great stories. Indeed, my friend. Well, listen, I got 3% left on my phone. This is probably a good way to end it. I mean, we got a lot done. Let me lift up my well, maybe not as much, but got quite a bit done, you know. Um, it's really glad to hear from y'all. I also want to remind everyone about our good friend here. He does a lot of updates on Instagram, and he's doing like these really awesome videos. It got this coast to coast vibe. Really check him out. It's really good stuff. Go to Instagram, look him up on there, and check out his videos. Our good buddy Lion Tiger Man. He's not really shared a lot of stuff publicly, but I'm telling you, he's working on an awesome comic project called Half Breed. We also got our good buddy from NTM Comics, who is working on his book. Oh, it's coming to me. It's just right. I feel like it starts with an M. Not Maelstrom. Mavericks. Something like that. I'm thinking it's almost right there on the tip of my tongue, but you can look him up. Look up NTM Comics on Twitter. Look it up and look at the awesome stuff he's doing right now. He's already got one book in the can. He's working on the other one. So lots of cool stuff coming with that. And let me tell you something. Anybody else that was in the chat that I missed, I am sorry. But lots of cool things. Also, before we leave, I just want to make an announcement that there is going to be somebody that's going to be hopping on board to the Wildcat Anthology. We got a new artist and possibly a new creative team if he brings anybody in to help him work on it. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, you know, put any pressure on anybody. So I'm really looking forward to that. So somebody else is going to be contributing the story to the Wildcat Anthology. Lots of cool stuff. Take care to you too. Take care to everybody else. As always, you're watching Sketching Past Midnight Live. Sorry well, what the heck am I doing? I'm going way out of the thing here. Where am I at? Am I still live? Yeah. No, maybe. Messed that up. Mm-hmm. Anyway, good night. How many CB Smoothwoods do we need? I never will end this.